Hello there, and welcome to Thank the Maker, a podcast about heroes, princesses, scoundrels, hokey religions, ancient weapons, and all things Star Wars. I'm Adam Russell.
I'm Nick Gambarian.
And it is Mike Forrester recovering from influenza Andor here after a quick jaunt down to Florida. And we are joined here by our old podcast friends, Johnny and Lacey from the Resistance broadcast. How are you guys?
Good, man.
Good.
The music is very uplifting. This is third act, like everything comes together type of
They
music.
made it.
So I like that.
They did it.
I'm very
Way to go,
chill
team.
coming into this because ours is like March of the Resistance, and that was a nice like Legends of the Fall. So I dig that. But it's good to see you guys. Thank you for having us. Love talking Star Wars as always. And as we were talking before we started recording, we revealed to other co-hosts on this podcast what roof raking is. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Dark times.
Dark times. Yeah, it is very dark out right now. For everyone who's experiencing or at least listening outside of the continental U.S., we are in a deep freeze. We are frozen. We are hothed up.
Do not include me in your bullshit.
That's true. That's true.
It was 85 and sunny today in lovely Southern California.
Yeah. So let's kind of go from Mississippi over and kind of go maybe North Atlanta. But Atlanta is freezing too, as I had to evacuate the southern states 2 weeks ago, avoiding a snowstorm in Atlanta, which is, I guess, a big deal. But, Lacey and Johnny, it is great to see you guys because it does dawn on me when we were all starting these podcasts, how many of them, unfortunately, are no longer doing it because podcasting is a lot of work.
And you don't make any money.
To make any money, but you love doing it. And so I think for people who know the Resistance broadcast, but specifically, how long have you guys been running the show? Give our listeners who are new to us, probably new to you, some overview of the show, because it's one of my favorites out in the fandom.
That's really nice. Thank you. John, do you want to do it? Do you want me to do it? What do you want to do? You talk first, I talk first?
I'll talk first because I was talking first and then you came and joined the podcast. But the podcast started in 2015 with Star Wars Newsnet. And it was created by the owner of Star Wars Newsnet at the time. And I joined Star Wars Newsnet in 2017. And then they asked me to join the podcast. And then they asked James Bainey to join the podcast. And then we reworked it as TRB, the Resistance broadcast. So as it stands today, this is our 9th year in its current iteration. And Lacey joined us 1 year after James and I sort of rebooted it. And we had been together for 7 years there after that. And Lacey and I have been holding it down, the two of us, for the past almost 2 years now. But still loving it. Still have a great community. I'm sure you guys run into them at celebrations and stuff because they like you guys too. But it's just fun talking Star Wars and love how you guys operate as well. So it's good to be here.
Yeah, that was really well said. I also am recovering from the flu, and I'm not even kidding. 2 weeks ago, I'm still not 100%, and you might see me cough, but I'll be muted. So I feel that pain. It's been great. I've been doing the podcast for, it's going to be almost 8 years. It's kind of nuts. We were talking off air, but like I've had 2 children in the time that I've done this podcast. And
that is crazy. Yeah.
Gone to multiple countries and done all these things and met all these wonderful human beings like you guys. So it's been just a big part of my life. That's, I agree with your sentiment that it's a ton of work. It absolutely is. And we have been going for a while, and we used to do 2 shows a week. We've gone down to 1 because Star Wars has kind of slowed a little bit, which is nice because then we get to focus on the one show. But yeah, it's been crazy, but really, really fun, and I wouldn't change it for anything.
Same. Speaking of Star Wars slowing down, that's adjacent or related to why you're here. We're talking about where Star Wars is going next, what we have coming up in the future. We have more things this year in some ways. Quantity-wise, maybe not, but we have something that we've been missing for a long time with Star Wars, which is an actual theatrical release. Along with that and some great series and things coming up, we've got some changes at Disney. We've had changes at Lucasfilm. So there's a lot to talk about. I'm hoping we get back to the place where it feels like maybe 1 episode a week isn't enough for us, Like that, I remember the days of doing like immediate reactions and then a deep dive episode on on Ahsoka and things like that. So hopefully we get back to that place. But for now, let's talk about what we have coming up. Do a little speculating, which isn't as on brand for us. You guys do more speculating than we do. So
we get
I'm
bananas,
excited to get into it.
We had to bring you guys on to do this. I think that's the most fun part. First of all, I think I had to bring this up because this was something that I had gotten a lot of replies on. So I had gone about 2 weeks now at this point. I had gone down to Florida to Epcot, actually has a conference center and all this stuff at the beach club. And I went down with work in my day job, which is not being a Star Wars. I get to the park. I'm on the train to get to Hollywood Studios. The kid across from me has a Stormtrooper helmet in his hands. The helmet is bigger than he is at this point. And Dad's got a Star Wars sweatshirt. I said, all right, so you guys are, this is your first time going. I was like, you're clearly Star Wars people. Oh yeah, we love it. Mandalorian, we can't get enough. We hope we can meet him at the park. They are actively looking for the Mandalorian at the park. I said, are you guys excited for the movie? They're like, what movie? I was like, that's 3 times now that I have found Star Wars fans that have no idea that The Mandalorian and Grogu is coming out. I go into the park. There is nothing on the windows. There is apparently you can meet Ariel from the mermaid, the
Mandalorian movie.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And so I'm sitting here being like, this movie is coming out in 4 months. It is the first time that we are getting a Star Wars movie in theater since 2019, and we have no idea that this is coming out. And we are at the place, the Star Wars place.
And it's not like they're selling ad space on billboards to someone else, and they're like, there's some kind of weird accounting in there. Like it's their own
100%.
goddamn park.
Like at this point, I thought there was a bigger sign for the upcoming Monsters University Land that's coming out in 2 years. Could have used anything saying The Mandalorian, like the menus, nothing. There is nothing.
Those poor Muppets.
Right, that's right. That's right, John. I can't figure out what's going on. As a marketing professional, this blows my mind as to like who is the fan for this movie if they won't market to casual fans about it and seemingly relying on Star Wars as a brand to only talk to hardcore fans. But then they're going to say that the movie failed because even today they said Superman was a fail because it didn't make $1 billion. Are these the new expectations? If so, this movie is DOA.
Raise our spirits, please.
Thoughts? Tell me something.
Well, I would say that this has kind of been a trajectory since COVID. I don't think movies making $1 billion is a pretty normal thing anymore. It's like once in a while something makes a ton of money. And
for the record, though, not that like a movie making $1 billion was normal until like 10 years ago. Prior to 10 years ago, it was like, holy shit, they're going to make $1 billion. And then
I meant like blockbuster franchises usually made $1 billion within the past 8 years.
Right, yeah.
But since COVID, that's not been a thing that happens. And I think it's because people are really picking and choosing what to do with their time and then also with their money. It's not an easy time economically for people to be making choices like going to the movies or buying extra stuff. So they're being very specific with what they decide to do. Now, as for Lucasfilm marketing, I would argue that Lucasfilm's Star Wars Japan team is going harder than any other team. I'm constantly seeing
the snow
stuff about
sculpture today.
The snow sculpture.
Crazy.
They were the first ones to promote the Mandalorian and Grogu new Furby that's coming out. They're constantly pushing the Grogu dolls, merchandise, clothes. Like even at Star Wars Japan, they had a whole booth just to Grogu. I would argue that they're going harder than anybody else, which is interesting to me at least, because you think that the team that would be going the hardest is the US team, because most people that resonate with Star Wars in general are Americans because it started here. Yeah. So it's just interesting to see that because it is very weird that it seems like that the movie's coming out next year and not this year. Now I know that there's supposed to be a Super Bowl trailer, but I mean, we've seen that with Solo, and how did that go with just a Super Bowl trailer? But at the same time, the Disney film team put out an article, I believe in 2019 or 2020, where they said that they only do 6-week cycles now. Like that is their model that worked previously that they've defaulted to. And it was a PR type article in the industry talking about why, and it was the gentleman that's now the head of the movie studio. He was saying basically that, yeah, we do a 6-week window because nobody has the attention span or memory to focus past that. But the problem with that is it goes very much against what Kathleen Kennedy always said, which was she wants Star Wars movies to be an event, like a James Bond or, Star Wars itself. Like it should be something that people mark on their calendars, that they're building up to, that they're getting their friends and family together to go see. And we're not seeing those events anymore. Like, look at the way that they treated TFA to the later movies and stuff. You don't have those merch events. You don't have those big, like, grab your friends, let's go, let's dress up.
Yeah.
Those aren't happening anymore.
Remember, like, the branding campaigns for the prequels? I mean, it ramped up by the time Revenge of the Sith was coming out. I felt like it was like a full year of toys, Burger King, Skittles, M&Ms, whatever, like everything, everywhere.
That if you weren't involved, you felt like you were missing out.
Yeah.
And now people don't have that necessity to do that.
I think I noticed it a lot in the cycle of the sequels that the toys like just absolutely declined. By the time the Rise of Skywalker literally never got Hasbro toys.
We never got a Ben Solo. I've been complaining to them forever about that.
I would just assume based off of sales, I don't know because I collected them, but
it was absolutely sales because they made the money back with the Mando Mondays. So then they just shifted their whole kind of ideas to prequels and Mandalorian. Yeah, and that's why you see a lot of that because that's what made up most of their money for that quarter.
Original Trilogy Special Edition. I'll show this on screen. This was Taco Bell 1997. Special Edition. A New Hope, and you had little Leia inside R2-D2.
That is awesome.
I still have this. I got this when I was 14 years old at Taco Bell, and it's sitting up here as a thing. These things matter, and
for a re-release, a special edition.
Exactly.
Yeah, for a different era,
movie.
but still.
So I agree completely. And the most recent example is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. That was marketed on the name of Harrison Ford and the fact that he was returning, and that's it. It was, the posters were solemn. Point. There was just silhouettes. There wasn't a lot of swashbuckling excitement. It was like one last time with a single piano note trailer.
Can we stop doing that? Like, the last time stuff.
Can we not make our swashbuckling stuff sad all the time? Yeah. Like, let's have fun. I know he's 80, but the guy's still throwing the whip around, and there wasn't excitement generated. They were just like, well, they showed up for Kingdom the Crystal Skull 17 years ago with Spielberg. They're just going to show up again and come see this movie. And they didn't. And it was shocking to a lot of people, but I don't think not everybody.
I was going to say, too, like so much has changed in literally, when did Force Awakens come out?
2015.
So much has changed in 10 years to where like Marvel was on the up and up by 2015, but it wasn't really like, we're talking like Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame. Like it blew things out of the water by then. So I just feel like there's so much more competition now too. Like there's so much more stuff to like. And that's just the reality of entertainment now. So that kind of doesn't make sense with how companies want to profit though. Like if you want to be making $1 billion a movie, it's just not happening because there's so many people spending their money, which is hard to earn these days, on so many different things. So you're just not going to have these big blockbusters. And maybe Star Wars just goes kind of not like underground and cool like it was, but like we're probably just going to get less of it because I just don't think the money is there to support how much we want. Like it's just not a thing. 10 years we've had a real rough 10 years for a million different reasons, mainly one reason. But like, it's really, really difficult to figure out that like, we're just going to go back to something like the way things were 10 years ago. Cause it's just not, the world's different.
Yeah. And Disney said that their priority is doing sequels and stuff, Frozen 4, 5, 6, whatever. They're paying all the people in Frozen $65 million each. Like, they have shown what their priorities are. And look, my kids recently decided they don't like Frozen anymore, but for many years loved
really?
Frozen.
Wow.
Yeah, they're off of it. I guess they don't like marshmallow, so they're off of it now.
He is terrifying, so that tracks.
They went on the ride and they were not fans.
Oh, yeah.
But that said, hold on. You're saying
Yeah.
they're just going to focus on sequels. I mean,
I'm saying that if they were in a meeting and they said, should we make Frozen 5 or make a new Star Wars movie, they're going to pick Frozen.
but I mean, the way that, they're looking at metrics and analytics,
Yeah.
things that we can't see. But I mean, a franchise movie is a sequel,
100%.
in for all intents and purposes. So like,
Of course, yeah.
But Lacey, you're saying would they rather do Frozen 5 than do a new Skeleton Crew show?
Original Star Wars stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't have Darth Vader in it.
I was
Yeah.
agreeing with what Nick was saying is that we're just going to see less of it. I totally agree with that, unfortunately, because Disney's priorities are to make money. So they're doing a live action Tangled. They're doing, another Lilo and Stitch. They're doing all these other things.
but those things are flopping too. You know what I mean? It's
That's
bizarre.
what I think
Yeah.
is crazy. I'm like,
Yeah.
we're sitting.
Well,
here
Lilo
going,
did make a lot of money. I don't know. I didn't like it. I shut it off in 6 minutes, but it
Made
did
my
make a lot
son
of money
cry.
for them.
Was it too intense?
It was, that when he thought little Stitch was going to eat it there at the end. He got very
okay.
upset about it.
Sure.
I was hoping you were gonna do a bit and just be like, yeah, it made him cry. It was just, didn't meet his expectations.
Yeah, well,
No, like he literally cried.
Directly on the internet and posted about it.
he started. Yeah, that's when his villain arc began.
He looked up and said, "How could Bob Iger do this to us?"
Dad, what's YouTube and why do I love it? No, no. I think if we're being honest, the Scrooge McDuck swimming in his own money thing, their eyes are on Starfighter for that. I think if we're being truly honest about it, you look at the pivots of Moana was supposed to be a series, became an animated movie. I think it's fair to say that it wasn't originally in the cards for The Mandalorian to be the next Star Wars movie. We all were there, or we saw and heard about the 2023 announcements of those 3 movies. None of them are in production at all right now.
Yeah.
So it's Kathleen, you guys have to get us a Star Wars movie. She talks to
we all
Favreau. He's
heard
like,
those-
I can
those
make a
rumors.
movie. I've made movie before, as we all know. And he's done it for that studio. So they reworked something with The Mandalorian, and I'm still all in on it because I'm a huge Jon Favreau fan since Swingers in 1996. I think we're going to get an awesome Star Wars movie that's not necessarily going to blow our minds with lore, but it's going to be a great adventure. But I don't think, and based on how they're approaching it, I don't think they're expecting north of $500 million at the box office for this movie. And I think that's okay. It's got a $150 million budget. They're probably going to go a little solo, like Lacey said, with the marketing on this one. And we're going to get a great adventure, and that's fine. But I think they really have their eye on Sean Levy, the Deadpool guy, Stranger Things guy, and Ryan Gosling to bring in close to $1 billion next year, right around the 50th anniversary when we get all the nostalgia bells going and they announce episode 10 at Celebration and all that good stuff.
So let's get into these projects and maybe give our speculation on this.
I mean, the first thing we have coming up is Maul Shadow Lord. So we're talking about a Disney Plus series, an animated series. This is something that, like you guys were saying earlier, is for the zoomed in market. The deeper.
People know Maul's still alive. People.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to give an example of that really quick. So
Oh,
my
that's great.
husband constantly jokes about Maul. He really only saw The Phantom Menace, even though, he's married to me, which makes no sense. Recently, he went to like a boys' weekend with his guy friends and they watched all the original trilogy together. And I was like, I feel like you've cheated on me because you didn't watch it with me, but I'll let it slide. That being said, he always brought up Maul. He's like, is that the one with Maul? Is that the one with Maul? Like, it was an ongoing joke all the time, that and Jar Jar. We go to Solo and he shows up. I look at Matt and he's just like, and I'm like,
There
and
he
goes,
is.
yeah, he goes, who is that? I was like, it's Maul. But like, that's an example of like someone that constantly talks about this character and had no idea
Yep.
that he was like, didn't he die? And I was like, oh,
We're
my
like,
God.
we've killed him twice on screen, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So sorry, Adam. Yeah, zoomed in audience. Yeah.
Yeah, so for the fans who are really into it, this was maybe the biggest moment, aside from Gosling showing up on stage. This was maybe the biggest moment of Star Wars Celebration in Japan. And seeing the footage we saw, like, we have video of us just losing our minds coming out of our seats. Like, our faces are melting, We're getting this on April 6th on Disney+, so it's soon, early in the year. We have a couple of messages from patrons that we want to play, but how stoked are you guys? Like, if you were to rate this versus The Mandalorian and Grogu in terms of excitement, how, which one wins out?
Mando. Definitely Mando.
It'll
but
always
I
be a
am
Star Wars
super
movie for
hyped
me,
for Maul. We're talking like a 10 versus a 9 in excitement levels. Like, I'm super excited for a movie, but Maul is like one of the coolest characters, and I can't wait to watch this.
Yeah, the day I am more excited for a streaming Star Wars animated series over a Star Wars theatrical film, in my opinion, we're in big trouble, because Star Wars movies for me, like, that's the pinnacle. It sets the tone for all movies. Like, it's a religious experience going to that Star Wars movie. But Maul, like, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, I'm the biggest Star Wars animation fan, because I'm not the biggest Clone Wars fan, but I love Rebels. And I loved Maul's arc in Rebels, and I'm very, very excited for this series. I am super excited for it. I'm glad we're getting a series that isn't so heavy focused on clones. We're going to have a lot of seedy characters. There's a lot of gray area in terms of where the galaxy's at and what's good and what's bad. And I'm not talking about gray Jedi. I'm just talking about sinister people,
sick
the
lightsaber
underworld.
fights.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be the closest we get to that live-action Star Wars Underworld series that George Lucas had 50 scripts written for.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be a lot of that
and
in
a bunch
here.
of stuff shot.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really excited for this, and I think it's going to be 2 episodes a week right up until May the 4th, and we're all going to have a nice like finale day, which hopefully sets us up for season 2, because I hope this breathes a bit.
Same. Mike, when we were talking about it in the chat, Mike, the one comment that I took from it was you saying, dudes, I think Maul's going to be around for a while. Yep.
Yeah.
And I hope so. Honestly, if The Mandalorian and Grogu, if this was another season of Mando and it wasn't a theatrical experience that we've all been so starved for, I would be so fully pushing this to the absolute top of my list of things I'm excited about.
That's a great, I would agree with that. Like, if it was another season based on the last season, I'd probably be like, this is something new.
Yeah.
That's a gret point.
Sorry.
Larry David.
You're a Mandalorian no more.
I get the feeling that Lucasfilm is putting a lot behind this. I think when they're reaching out to do something that is with a character that they know is a little bit risky, it's got a built-in fan audience without a doubt, but also the way that they're choosing to go about it and the timeline that they're doing it tells me that like they have invested in this story. And I think that's a great thing, because ultimately, John, to your point, it's not the clones. Lacey, to your point, this is a character that people do know outside of just being a Star Wars fan. He's the guy with
He was the coolest thing.
The devil guy, exactly.
The entry in all the commercials and stuff, Taco Bell, whatever, they always use him all. He was the sickest character to come out of the prequels.
100%. And I think that this one might be a love letter to Dave, kind of saying, there's going to be a new generation of
and Sam
Star Wars
Witwer,
coming.
honestly.
And truly getting someone like Sam, who is so loved and revered by fans. This is their opportunities to tell some Lucas stories that Dave knows, to get someone who's passionate enough to champion this project. I think we're going to get a lot of Maul, and I feel good about that. It's a weird release schedule. I will say that. Two episodes a week makes it, this is kind of like Tony Gilroy being like, well, were we worried about the podcasters?
Podcaster nightmare, yeah.
All of us are like, yes, but we'll be fine. But we do have some patron messages, yeah?
We do. Real quick, though, and I know we have a lot to get through, and I don't drag this out too long, but this past year or so, especially, seeing, new IP coming out and just killing in feature films like K-pop Demon Hunters, stuff like that, right? We've seen like the Spider-Verse films do really well. Does anyone on this podcast right now think there's a chance that we would ever get a Star Wars theatrical animated release?
100%.
If yes, why? And if no, why?
I would love to see it. Currently, right now, no, but that is dependent on how Maul does. I could see if Maul does really well and Disney is hyped about all the views it gets and it gets a lot of push online and people really love it. I could see them turning that into a movie for the next season or 2 seasons, make it a movie instead. Because we've seen that with other projects. But currently right now, no. And it's not because I don't want to see it. It's just because I think their priorities seem to be live action with movies.
Yeah.
Because people still view animated as kids thing, even though it's not. People still view it that way.
But even if they made a kids movie, like why haven't they still? I mean, aside from the 2008 Clone Wars, isn't it kind of weird if you think about it?
I was going to bring up the Clone Wars because I know it didn't make a ton of money at the box office. And that was when everyone thought Star Wars was over. And they're like, oh, we're getting another Star Wars movie. And I thought that would I didn't see it in the theaters, I'll be honest. And
I didn't either.
I thought that may, pull people in, and it didn't. And I wonder if they look at that still, especially Filoni. Now that he's the boss, he looks at that still and he's like, oh, I don't know. I just started this job. Do I want to tell them I want to do another one? And they're going to be like, didn't you do this movie? And it made this much? We're going to wait on that. But I would love it. Again, like if it's Maul or something sick and they capture the zeitgeist and it transcends like Grogu did, but it's an animated character. I'm down for that. But it's hard the way that they're. We've just been talking about the box office and stuff for the way that they just shot down the Ben Solo thing because for whatever reason if Lucasfilm's greenlighting that stuff and sending it to Disney and Disney saying no. I can't imagine a world where they're going to be like, but this animated one, let's do that right now. I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
The part of me that thinks that animated is on the horizon is the Sora stuff. Them buying into a lot of AI stuff, not just for doing deep fakes and stuff like that, because that still takes processing in a different way that animation doesn't. But
you think Lucasfilm will make an AI-based Star Wars official canon movie?
I think they're investing in the tools.
I think they're investing in the tools to say that if we're going to generate a Coruscant scene, it's a lot easier than just to have animators rigging a ton of stuff. I think it's easier for them to go, we have these tools that can do mountains and sunsets and all of this kind of stuff in a different way. I think that there is still a lot of intellectual integrity of the way that they want to do it. But I follow a lot of the Lucasfilm people on LinkedIn and these other professional sites, and they're all pretty on board with being excited about it.
I mean, George Lucas would be, he's
100%. He would be 100% the champion of it. So I think we had talked about briefly the between video games, novels, comics, there are a treasure trove of amazing stories that most people don't know about. So imagine if we do, Nick, you read Shadows of the Sith, right?
Yeah.
Sweet book.
One of my favorites. Yeah. I mean, I have read a ton of Star Wars, but that made me excited to, I was like, if I ever could see this visually, it would probably be good animated,
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Dark Disciple, all of these amazing books that have pioneered the way that people are holding on to this. If they made these into animated films and released one every year just for popcorn, I think they would crush it, frankly.
Well, let's hear from a couple patrons really quick and then move on to the next thing. This one's from Paradox about Maul.
Hey guys, this is Dax or Paradax. Do you guys think in the upcoming Maul Shadow Lord that we're going to get any light shed on the fan theory of Rook Cast potentially becoming the Armorer? Thanks, guys.
Great theory. Great theory.
I mean, please. Yeah. Cool. I don't know this as well as maybe some of you guys have more insight on this, but yeah, I'm down.
I know Vanessa Marshall is voicing the character.
Yeah.
I think that I like Wild Bananas' ideas. I don't think this one is going to come to fruition because I think it would be a hard time for me to hear another character voiced by Vanessa Marshall and then say, well, then this becomes this iconic voice that we know as Emily Swallow. So
Agreed.
Yeah. So I don't know. It could be. I didn't mean to yuck his yum. I apologize.
I hate that the speculation, hope is like dead in me when it comes to these things because it used to be so fun to do this. But I just feel like thinking of it in like a business sense, there's no meat on that bone. Like who really cares where their armor came from? Like I'm so not invested. I want to be, but I
like
really
how
don't care.
Merrick was Ezra and Kylo Ren was Luke.
Yeah. Nice. No, I don't think Emily Swallow has done anything besides prop up how awesome The Mandalorian is, and she's been great with people. I don't see a reason why they.
Clearly, she's down.
She's down. So I think the clan cast has its own fate that is different than Vizsla or whatever I think she revealed her clan to be.
I also am in line with Nick in that it feels like over the past, I don't know, I want to say 5 years, maybe longer, but it feels like, I feel like since 2020, my life's been a blur. That it feels like all Star Wars fans need every single thing explained to them. Mm-hmm. Like they need to know every single character's background. They need to know how everything is like perfectly connected and everything works in this perfectly fit puzzle. And I would kind of push back a little bit and be like, it's okay to not know, to come up with your own idea. And it's not maybe the legit canon idea, but it's fun to kind of lean into the what ifs, and it doesn't have to be perfectly explained. And I don't think George wanted everything explained.
Use the Yoda rule more. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know where he's from. We don't know who he is or why he talks that way, but he's the coolest GD character, and that's all we need to know. Like, I was even a little annoyed when he popped up in the Acolyte. I'm like, get Yoda out of here. I don't want to see him.
Get him out of here. You get out.
It was Yaddle.
Yeah, it's the J.J. Abrams mystery box. The mystery's always better than whatever answer you could get, ultimately.
Just like actual mystery boxes, right?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, this one's from Matty Gunner.
Hello. It's Matty. Hope everyone's doing well. My question for the panel is, do you think that in more Shadow Lord, that my long-standing theory of Dryden Voss really being a Mandalorian will in any way come to light? And also, one for John specifically, would you ever want to see Lars Ulrich join the Max Rebo band? Take care, everyone. Much love.
Hey, Maddie. Wow. Lars Ulrich should be in Star Wars. I think that's important. So I'll start with that and then let everyone else answer the other part.
Dude, just imagine though how much he would just blow it in there. Like that's like a tight jazz band. His ass.
Yeah.
Metallica is one of my favorite bands of all time, but he would destroy their sound.
Yeah, it just starts firing off the double bass from like Dyer's Eve, and they're like, "What are you doing, man?"
It's like, dude, come on, the timing, bud. Can we get this to the click track?
Let me get my Saint Anger snare drum. Hang on.
Oh god.
The Saint Anger snare. We got to. That's the real reason why the sail barge crashed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let Ben Burt play with that sound. Yeah. Exactly. I don't know about Dryden Voss as a Mandalorian. Maddie, that's bananas. Is that a very unique theory? I haven't heard that one.
I think that's sick.
I think that's a reference to the armor in the background. And his affinity for culture, you know what I mean? Yeah. And hang on, Nick Tears in the comments. Twist is that Dryden Voss is revealed as Mandalorian, but it's the first alien version of Dryden Voss with the buffalo head from Lord Miller's version of the movie. That is a deep cut.
I thought it was a lion.
Buffalo head, is it a lion?
I thought Dryden Voss was originally a lion person. Am I wrong with that?
Oh, no. Well,
was he a lion guy?
Well, originally Dryden Voss was Michael K. Williams, right? And I think he was supposed to be
like a cat
creature,
lion guy.
like Tot Raw, like the other guys, I think.
Oh, yeah.
That tracks. Okay.
And then he made it, and then Paul got the job, and he was too attractive. So Ron Howard said, we got to put stuff on his face because he's too handsome. Like the things that come up when he gets angry.
Yeah, the red blood vessels.
Because he was just too attractive.
That's right.
I feel like he parties too hard to be a Mandalorian. You don't see them
too.
like
I feel like
they're
he's
very
just really
stiff and religious, and and just culty in that way. And he's just like, we're having a party, you know, and he's all boozing
And he's
around.
kind of too much of a snake, I feel. To be.
Sure.
Yeah. I love the theory. I think it's awesome.
I mean, these are all
Yeah.
good reasons why he would leave
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
if he
Totally.
doesn't fit in. You know, those are good motivations.
True.
Who
Yeah.
knows?
God,
think
I
it'd
love
be
Solo
cool.
so much.
It's great.
That's
Every
amazing.
time
You
I
guys
just-
should
I
like
love
start
it.
a campaign and like to.
We
see if we can get
totally
another one.
should, you know.
I like it.
just
I would support it.
I think people would be behind it. I think we should do it.
John's looking for anything. There we go. With the make Solo 2 happen. Oh my goodness, that's
nice.
perfect.
All right, let's talk about the Mandalorian and Grogu a little bit. Actually, let's do this in reverse order since we're getting questions from the patrons. Let's hear Physics Buddy Joe's message and let that kick it off.
Hello there. This is Physics Buddy Joe again. I was just wondering if you think that we'll get a flashback having to do with Grogu, and will we be able to see the handoff from Kelleran Beck to Jar Jar in Mandalorian and Grogu, or are we going to see that somewhere else?
I love that idea.
Yeah,
I'm all about it
Yeah, that's great.
with Ahmed Best.
yeah.
I hate it. I hate that idea.
I love it. I love it. Let's do the handoff. Let's see it. I want to see him get handed off.
All right, hear me out though, because
Yeah.
I think like we're all waiting for Grogu to take the next step.
To talk.
You know,
Yes.
to talk, which he probably will in this movie, to use a lightsaber, to maybe use the Force more. I'm flashbacked out with this dude. Like, I've seen enough Grogu flashbacks. We were just talking about, like, we've seen enough with the exposition. Take Grogu forward, okay, and move him forward. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if I want to see any more flashbacks. I don't know if I want to see Kelleran Beck. I'm not trying to be a hater or anything. I just want them to move him forward. So that's why I don't like it in instant reaction to that, but I'll probably love it if I see it in the movie anyway.
I mean, you mentioned it earlier too, John. Like, we're probably not going to get that much lore, right? Like, we're not sensing that we're getting a lot of lore in this movie.
Yeah.
I want to be totally wrong because my soul needs it, but like, like right now, I'm like, I don't know that we're going to get flashbacks because that seems like you'd be filling in some lore, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Well,
So.
think about this though. If they're treating this like a mainstream movie, like every film that comes out of a deep, you know, lore fandom, deep universe, you know, it's number 9 in a series, whatever, like, you know, the last Mission Impossible movie. For mainstream fans who aren't completely caught up, who they need to convince they can just show up and just get on the ride and they'll understand it, they include extra context that isn't necessary for all the rest of us. So in this case, they may do a flashback that gives us another piece of it just to bring normies up to speed. So
I
think
would love
more,
it.
More possible
for
for
it.
that reason. I don't think I need it per se.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us
I
need
agree
it.
that
but, you
that
know?
just made my brain go back to the beginning of this conversation about marketing. Shouldn't they
Yeah.
be like blowing like Disney Plus up with watch The Mandalorian before the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like shouldn't that
Yes.
be everywhere right now?
Yeah.
And
No
maybe
question, Nick.
weeks out. I don't know. Like Lacey said, like because I agree with that. Like, and Adam, you see it probably in with the bands and stuff like that. It's like you don't really start things these days until it's like kind of right up on you, you know.
Yeah.
And it sucks because this thing that you know we write and record an album for a year, and it's like all right, it's released for 2 weeks, and then you're on, then that's it. You know, bye bye, go on tour. It's like, God damn it. We worked
Yeah,
so
and
hard.
then it's relying on social media of the people closest to it to do it for free or spend their own money.
Mhm.
And the movie version of that is influencers and community. So
Life is a prison.
I mean,
I would argue it's more, at this point, less marketing and more word of mouth. Not even influencers. It's just
It's true.
going back to what you said earlier. I am the biggest fan of this movie. It came out last year, K-pop Demon Hunters. I am the biggest fan of this movie. And I watched it willy-nilly when it came out one night because I was by myself and I was like, oh, this looks sick. And I watched it and I was hooked in the first 5 minutes. And I was like, this is amazing. And I went and told every single person I know to go watch it. I told John, I told James, I told my clients, I told my family members, everybody. And by the end of August, when I was dropping my daughter off at preschool, all the kids were singing it. And I was like, this is how I know, because it's trickled down from adults to high schoolers to middle schoolers to preschoolers. And that's usually when you know something's going to be a big hit. That's when it gets on Good Morning America. You're like, oh, I've known about this for months, but now it's on Good Morning America. It's on the Thanksgiving Day parade. It's on, you know
when
what I mean?
There's that feeling that you don't want to be left out of something, when that hits,
Yeah.
Right.
that's the gravy train.
And we've probably come full circle because of, again, our favorite word around here, or at least my favorite word, the enshittification of social media. It is actually impossible to find out about things on the internet now. So you just have to go back to, I'm going to call my friend. I'm going to go have coffee with them and tell them about K-pop Demon Hunters. I never would have watched it unless Sarah told me to watch it. You know,
I told John showed his kids. Now his kids love it, and they draw pictures of it, and they're all. And then we had told James, and James went and tried to get his son Bennett to watch it, and Bennett was like, "I'm not watching that." And he said 2 days later, Bennett came home and goes, "Dad, can we finish that movie? Everybody's talking about it at school."
Yeah.
And I felt really cool for like.
Here's the weird and confusing part of the equation, though. It's a Netflix movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was in theaters for a very short run, right?
It wasn't in theaters at all.
They didn't do that thing where they did like a...
They did. They put it in August. It was one weekend. And then they did a weekend, I think, Halloween, which it made about, I think, $18 million. Yeah.
To your point, Adam, it premiered, it just dropped
on Netflix. Yeah. They just randomly dropped it in June. Yeah.
And it was, so Sony originally was the one who commissioned the whole thing, and they didn't have confidence in it. So they sold it to Netflix. It was originally supposed to come out in theater, and they sold it to Netflix.
So I understand this is something that has songs and a soundtrack, so they're making money on those streams.
Yeah.
Grammy winning now at this point.
It's generating revenue in other ways, but for a streamer, it's like someone like Netflix, they just make a whole bunch of shit, and some of it works. Enough of it works that people continue to subscribe to Netflix. Their growth strategy is global, and it's very mysterious. But for like a more traditional studio, like a large company like Disney, who has parks and all this kind of stuff, if something doesn't kill in the theaters, yes, they're still trying to push it to Disney Plus to like either hopefully grow their subscriber base and or keep subscribers, but then it's an opportunity to sell merch, get people in the park. But it doesn't seem like there's a synergy between all those things in the way that there used to be. So Netflix, they put out so much shit that something's going to hit. They're more like an old school record label in a way, you know, where it's just like they're just throwing shit, and it's like, oh, there, U2 happened, so they pay for everybody else in this entire decade, you know. But I don't think Disney has solved that equation yet, and I think that's why everything is just all over the place with this marketing. Like, budgets for movies have gotten to the point now where it's like they spend as much on marketing as they do on the production. But where the hell are they spending that money now? Because we're not seeing any of it. You know, it's so confusing. I'm not like asking for answers here. I'm just like thinking out loud and trying to figure out like, how the fuck does any of this work?
They're considering the park, the update to Smuggler's Run at the park, a huge part of marketing for this movie. To both of your point, I remember the last time I told someone you have to go see this movie was maybe Top Gun Maverick. You have to go see it in theaters. I was like, this is a theater movie, right? And I sometimes tell my dad to go see some political movies and stuff that I know that he wouldn't normally go see. It is that point of going like, you know, Lacey, you did so much work for Netflix, telling people to go see that. And
I like to think that I did, that by the time I got to preschool and everyone was like, oh my God, have you heard of this thing? I was like, did I?
Did I? Well, my daughter, I went as Genu, and my daughter went as Rumi for Halloween this year, right?
I love that. I was fangirling every time a little Rumi came to my house.
Yeah, 100%. But like, I have talked with the guys about it because neither of them have kids, but I was like, the for me to know where Star Wars is at is like the Halloween test. And I'm like, every year there's like 6 Black Panthers, 2 Captain Americas, 10 Hulks. And I'm like,
I saw a Bluey Ghost basket this year, and I was like, and I saw no Star Wars.
That's what I'm saying. I still see an occasional Stormtrooper. I still see an occasional Darth Vader, but I'm like, So we're looking at this going, okay, so marketing wise, we have a Super Bowl trailer coming out this weekend. Now that could also drop before. I wouldn't be surprised if they drop it tomorrow. They drop it on Thursday. Just
Super Bowl is this weekend.
Super Bowl is this weekend, or they drop it on Monday after, which is pretty general. But I'm sitting here being like, at this point, drop it both. Get the hype pre-going. You know what I mean? This is like to Doomsday level where they let the leaks out. They didn't stop it. They barely stopped any of the leaks.
Mm-hmm.
I saw all of the trailers leaked from overseas. And then they come out 2 weeks later. And I'm sitting here being like, for weeks, they have just ruminated on people being excited about Captain America coming back.
I could not be less excited for a movie than Avengers Doomsday.
But you know what? That's a great point though, Lacey, because like you're at this point where it's like how many people just slogged through the last Marvel slate.
It just
and
feels like
pulling out all stops to be
a
like
cash cow that they're just like, let's get this sponge going one more time. That's what it feels like to me.
I completely I don't, to answer Joe's question, I don't think we're going to see a flashback. I don't think
I would love it, Joe. I stood by you, Joe. I'm here.
I'm with John on this, though. I think we are not moving.
I'm hoping for
forwards.
Ahmed.
I think
You and me,
we're
Joe.
moving backwards. We're moving forward.
I think we may get one out of necessity, but I think it would be way cooler. And I think probably John and Dave would prefer as well for some other series to cross in some way. Like imagine they do a series about the Path, right? And Grogu and Kelleran pop up in that for a moment, and it's just a moment to connect things. You know, I think they would rather do that than have to do a flashback to get normies
I feel like
caught
that
up.
flashback would be a great Forces of Destiny short, and I'm not trying to slight it in any way, but
I love
let
Forces
kids
of
see
Destiny.
that, and then they're like, "That's cool." My dad told me about Jar Jar Binks. That's cool. Like, and then maybe that's a pathway forward. Like those little shorts, I think were like a little underrated and really cool.
I'm calling it now. Grogu's going to be in a tux at the Oscars. I'm calling it. It's on ABC.
Nice.
You know
that
it's
makes sense.
happening.
The ABC thing, that makes sense. I think we're all expecting that the Millennium Falcon's going to be in the movie. I don't think we're going to go back into the history of whoever the bounty hunter is that's probably searching for Grogu. And I think the only thing they might reference is that Grogu hasn't achieved his full power yet because he's afraid of being connected to the Force. That was kind of a byline in every episode, in every series that we've had with him. And that would be the only reason we'd have a flashback, in my opinion.
He's not afraid of using the Force to get those cookies, though.
See?
All right, let's hear from patron Dad Taween about Starfighter.
Hey, Tatooine here. If we're going to go with reckless abandon, then I feel like Ryan Gosling could be Cade Skywalker.
Cade Skywalker.
Whoa.
Jason put some stuff in the chat about this beforehand.
Nick's face.
Nick,
People have been throwing this out there from the moment that they announced
let's just start.
Ryan Gosling.
Let's just start matching people's haircuts and ask if they're related. Like that's what's happening.
Everybody's Ray's mom, right? That's what happened for like 6 years.
I still make that joke because it makes me laugh. I forgot what we said in the chat today, but I just replied, Ray's dad.
You said Grogu was Ray's mom.
Yeah. It just makes me laugh. I have to make myself laugh sometimes.
I mean, maybe with that, clone DNA stuff they were doing, maybe there's a little Grogu and Ray. We don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh no, you said the other Night Brother from Shadow Lord is Ray's mom.
We were talking about the Shadow Lord Funko Pops, and one of them was called Icarus, and I just replied, Ray's mom.
Nice.
Ray's mom.
Icarus Skywalker.
We can
Ray's
make that
mom.
work.
This is Rack Man.
I don't think Sean Levy's dipping into legends and stuff. I think, he made buckets with Deadpool, and that was the last thing I've seen in theaters, actually. And that was one of those movies that I was like, everyone's going, I gotta go. So I did.
Go ahead,
And
Lacey,
he made buckets with that movie, and I believe they offered him Avengers Doomsday, and he was like, nah. And they were like, you want Star Wars? He was like, yes. So I think the last thing he would do is do a Star Wars movie with a character that is a fan favorite and or a character that a lot of fans know of, because I would argue that Sean Levy is a big Star Wars fan because he said this is his golden ticket of a movie. But I wouldn't say that he's an expert. Like, I'm sure he would even be like, I'm not like the Pablo Hidalgo, Dave Filoni to give you every single lore
Level
piece.
Wikipedia.
He's there to make a sick movie with a lot of heart and have a lot of fun with Ryan Gosling. And I hope there's romance in it, but we'll see. But yeah, I don't, unfortunately, I feel like such the negative person. But I did say yes to Ahmed Best. So
think about this though, like
2-1.
talking about people that you don't expect to get deep into lore. Leslie Headland in The Acolyte and the writers involved in that went pretty deep into some nerdy shit. And
I expected her to, though. She wrote fan fiction.
but I'm saying, like, she
She's
wasn't
got
hired
Star Wars
because
Mean Girl energy.
she wasn't hired because she was, like some prolific sci-fi writer. She was hired
Sure.
because Kathleen Kennedy liked what she did as a dramatic director. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that said, like, if they're mining just vibes even, like, he may not be that character, right? But, like, there's something to be said about taking things from comics and books and stuff and just making an amalgamation, a character that kind of has the spirit of a different character without using a lot of stuff from Legends that is pretty hokey and kind of whack.
I mean,
At
they
this
pull
point, you know what I mean?
influences and stuff all the time from.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%. Like, Rey looks like Bastilla Shan. Like, that was one of the big things everybody said when she came
Thrawn?
out. Yeah, Thrawn.
Right.
Like, totally. I agree with you. He could be a homage to Cade Skywalker, but
That's
I
kind of
don't-
what I'm getting
Yeah,
at.
I don't think, though, it's actually
I don't even know.
him.
So Cade Skywalker is a descendant of Luke, but he's not his son. He's just like Luke had a kid, and then that person had a kid. Like I don't know. I'm expanded universe. I'm not well versed on, but I will say this: I think there's a better chance of Rey showing up in Starfighter than
I think
this
she
guy
is.
being Cade Skywalker, and there's a 0% chance that Rey is showing up in Starfighter. So,
She's showing up.
and Lacey says 100%
See,
chance.
I'm actually going to say
They need to.
no, unless this changes due to studio influence. I think this is a reboot this is going after the Dune fans. This is going after a Netflix audience that loves sci-fi, that doesn't want to deal with the baggage of Star Wars. I think this is a reboot of how Star Wars is going to reposition itself moving forward.
You can do that and then wrap it up with a Maul at the end of Solo-esque moment.
You definitely
That's what I think it's going to be.
You definitely could, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying, I think that they might be like, let's just completely palate cleanse a new audience to go, oh, wait, who's that? Because then they have a lot of work to do to get caught up. And I don't think they want to do that.
I agree, but they can't resist.
They love it. They love it so much. Yeah, it's entirely possible.
I really, really hope, I don't know how you guys feel, chime in. I really hope that it's Rey Skywalker. I hope that they don't go back on that somehow, or just like.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I hope they lean into it.
It needs to be
Yeah.
Rey Skywalker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
they're gonna. I mean,
Not like in a retconny sense, but like be sly about like saying Skywalker, Like I want her first line to be, I'm Rey Skywalker.
Nick doesn't want the
Nick probably
special
did.
edition of Rise of
Yeah.
Skywalker where she goes, I'm Rey.
Yeah.
Rey. That's it. Just delete Skywalker.
As long as she has the yellow lightsaber, because, man, that was a whole, as Mark Hamill would say, # missed opportunity that they didn't have her use that at all in the movie.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of my biggest kind of gripes, amongst other things. But yeah, I don't think they're going to go back on that. But I think she's going to show up in this movie. And I know Jonathan Troper was like, we're not having any characters from the movie show up. And I'm like, okay. But there's a lot of liars in Star Wars, like Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor and Lars Mikkelsen, like in a fun way, not in
Yeah.
a bad, malicious way,
Class
but
actors.
but in an NDA way.
Actors, right.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I actually, again, taking away the anticipation for a theatrical Star Wars experience, I would put this second in my list of things I'm most excited about that are on the slate. Maul, this, Mando.
It's a fair assessment.
Well, next bullet point here is Ahsoka season 2, so maybe I'm going to rework that list. But Starfighter, May 28th, 2027. So to someone's point earlier, ramping up with the 50th anniversary, I think is perfect. It's built-in marketing.
Yep.
Just the hype's going to be everywhere. People are going to be talking about Star Wars. Every news, local mainstream news segment that covers the 50th anniversary is going to end with new movie in theaters May 28th. So,
and just get Ryan Gosling on every talk show possible.
Yes.
And he will charm people into buying tickets without it. They'll take their phone out and be like, I don't know why I'm on Fandango now, but Ryan Gosling's talking and I just got to buy the tickets. Like,
And
to
he's
shut up and
so
take my money gift.
attractive.
yeah, that guy can sell a movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
he can.
I love
Give
it.
him some puppies. Let's go.
Or just bring Harrison Ford with him for no reason beyond that Blade Runner marketing campaign was unbelievable.
It was
With those two.
awesome.
So
I'm
good.
with you
Yeah.
on that. That was great.
Yeah.
This tagline, I don't think I've read this yet. Before we move on to Ahsoka here. In a rebuilding galaxy, a solitary pilot becomes entangled in a crucial mission as new threats emerge. Their journey may alter the future of the Force itself. Oh, we also heard about Tom Cruise allegedly directing a lightsaber fight.
I
this
think it
movie?
was the scene that Sean Levy posted a picture of where he's running on the side of that wall. I was like, is that the day Tom was there? Because Tom would be like, this is how you run in this
You got to
movie.
run fast. Yeah.
Because he was like running into post-production and then the Tom Cruise thing came out. And I was like, was that the day?
He's like,
Is
Sean,
that,
what if we...
Is that the joke photo that they took? Like, take a picture of me running? Like, I don't know.
I like it.
Dude, say what you will about Tom Cruise and his wacky everything. I love him. I'll go see any movie with Tom Cruise.
Oh, me too. I was just
he's an
saying, like,
action star.
I love the running. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, same. Yeah. He's got a great
Yeah.
run.
He does.
All right, Ahsoka Season 2, 8 episodes, supposedly, all written by Dave Filoni. Bryce Dallas Howard directed 2 of them. With Filoni, Jennifer Getzinger, Anders Eggstrom also directing. No release date so far. The way Season 1 ended, like just the imagery alone, it was like sort of the Disney Plus series equivalent to me of the ending of The Force Awakens. It's like, oh my God, I have to see what's next or I'm going to die. How do you guys feel?
I mean, I really liked Ahsoka a lot, and I thought they nailed Anakin in the way that they did not in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. I thought the way they just egregiously did not de-age Hayden Christensen for the Obi-Wan series, I was like, what is going on here? And then in Ahsoka, he looked incredible. He looked right out of, like he walked off the set of Revenge of the Sith. I thought that was great. So I thought they did an amazing job with Ahsoka Season 1. I'm still really hurt and bummed about Ray Stevenson because I know how much he loved it, how much he talked about it at Celebration London. And I mean, I was a fan of that dude. I don't know if you guys ever saw that psychotic Punisher Warzone movie where he played the Punisher.
Yeah, he was crazy in that. That was awesome.
I was a fan of that dude. And Dexter or whatever else he was in, I just always liked him. And then the fact he was in Star Wars and he was crushed as Balin Skull, the fact that he died, it's just like so rough. But I'm excited. The only concern I have was the Dave Filoni movie supposed to be take place after Ahsoka 2. We know that's currently on the back burner. So is it going to be one of those things, Adam, where you get that cliffhanger for Season 2 and then you're like, I think I might die now because I don't know when I'm going to get the next
When
round
am
of
I
the
going to
story.
get it?
It's been 84 years.
Yeah, but I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what they do with the whole Mortis thing, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's so good. Do you think that, I know we've talked about it, but I'll get you guys' opinion. Do you think, I mean, it would be smart for the something in the Mandalorian Grogu movie to lead into Ahsoka, being that it's only a couple of months apart, right? Wouldn't that be like good synergy to get like some steam on Ahsoka, the series?
I'm going to be that person. Maybe Ahsoka shows up in Mando to tie it all
cool.
together so that then the normies go, who is that? Ahsoka?
Yeah.
Who's Ahsoka? And then they get more involved. Because it's an easy person to kind of throw in at the end or...
With a big actor, yeah.
Yeah.
Were they not also filming at the same time, probably in London?
I think they were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's easy.
Especially you think about what so many people are talking about, Grogu having to grapple with the dark side and things like that, and Ahsoka being hesitant for him to be trained, all of this kind of stuff. Like, it would make a lot of sense.
Ready? Here's the moment. Picture it now. It's going to be a big climactic moment where Grogu needs to step up and Ahsoka's going to show up and say, Luke said you left this behind, and she's going to throw him Yoda's lightsaber and then he's going to light it up.
Dang it. I can't unsee that now. I can't unsee that now.
Luke said you forgot this.
Yeah, you dropped something, kid.
Lacey. Oh, no.
They're still in post-production, you get this thing on Reddit.
And they love this. They love this podcast for sure.
Get this stuff out on Reddit. Like, you never know. It's like to have the Duffer Brothers check in. There's a lot that can be done. There's a lot that can be done.
Rosario, what up? Make it happen, girl. Make the call.
I mean, the fans made her Ahsoka in a way, so
I know.
It's true.
This is your moment.
Let's get Ahsoka in the Mandalorian. It's not too late. It's not too late.
Take it for yourself, girl.
They're like, shut up, guys. She's already in it. Just shut up.
I'm going to get a call, knock, and it's going to be like Kevin Feige, but for Disney. So it'll be Dave Filoni at my door being like, how did you know? I'll be like, what?
Like Jay and Silent Bob at the end of Jay and Silent Bob segment.
Oh, my God. I love that. Yeah.
Did you say Jay and Silent Bob are fucking clown shoes?
That one guy's like, hang on.
Yeah.
All right. This is going to be quite the edit. I feel bad for Jason. We should wrap up here and boot the rest to the after show.
Exactly. We're going to talk about the, real quick for anyone who's not a patron, if you want to hear this, we're going to talk about the Simon Kinberg trilogy, the Rey movie, the Lando movie, or series, Hunt for Ben Solo, the Taika Waititi project. We've heard some little rumblings about a few of those things. So we're going to talk about that briefly in the bonus segment for patrons, which you can find at patreon.com/thankthemakerpod. Lacey and John, before we go, tell the people where they can find you on the internet.
Go ahead, John.
Oh, yeah, I'll do it. That's fine. We're the Resistance Broadcast, a.k.a. TRB. We are a Star Wars podcast, puts out episodes every week. We typically go live Thursday nights and hit your pod apps on Friday. Apple, Spotify, Amazon, whatever podcast app you have, we're probably on it. And TRB Podcasts on social media, trbpodcast.com. We also have a Patreon for TRB that keeps our light on, just like these guys have. So support your small-time content creators for sure. And then Lacey and I also have a sister show under the TRB banner called Nerdy and Nice, where we talk about all the other fun stuff like DC, Marvel, horror movies, Hallmark movies, reality TV, and all that good stuff. That's on Mondays on Nerdy and Nice. And then Johnny Hoey for me on Blue Sky. And that's it. Lacey Gillerin everywhere, right?
Yeah, you can find me on social media at Lacey Gillerin. But thanks for having us. We really appreciate it. You guys are welcome anytime in the TRB base if you want to join us.
Good to hang with you guys, and hope to see you guys soon in person once again.
For sure. Either of us on tour, if we're in your areas, hit us up. Come hang. Come to some shows.
Will do, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Mosh Isley tickets are now fully on sale for both Orlando and Chicago. Nick, any details we need to know before we sign off?
We got Orlando bundles coming up, or I guess
tomorrow.
Yeah, but this is coming out Thursday. When's this episode coming out?
They came out yesterday. Good job, everyone.
Yeah, so Chicago at the Bottom Lounge and Old Faithful for Orlando, Sun on the Beach. Both of those are in March. Come hang with us.
And we are getting closer and closer to a Story of the Year album release, which is exciting for me because I've been spinning Disconnected hard in my car, and Gasoline still feels like the anthem of the country right now. So good job, Adam, you and your friends. You guys are really something. Has anyone ever told you that?
We do our best. My mom tells me all the time.
That's great.
All right, everyone, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, patrons. We'll see you in just a minute. Everyone else, until next time, may the Force be with you. Thank the Maker is produced by Adam Russell and Jason Chiodo and edited by Jason Chiodo. If you enjoy the podcast, you can support us by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Or you can support us directly at patreon.com/thankthemakerpod, where you can get access to our Discord server, exclusive content, exclusive merch, and more. Our patrons literally make Thank the Maker possible.